What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. We got another episode of Ask Sirr Love. And today's video is coming from Style Gaming. Style Gaming asks, why don't you manage artists? Which is an interesting question because I'm known for managing artists. He asks, why don't you manage artists? Which is an interesting question. Do I manage artists? What does that look like? I say that there are three ways that I really want to approach this particular answer. One of the ways is, I want to state that I prefer to manage companies or manage a business versus managing the artists themselves. So even if it is an individual artist, I prefer to build a business around the artist and then manage the artist from that standpoint. So I want to highlight that and why. Two, as you guys are aware, I have managed artists in the past, and I have been involved with management companies that manage artists. So, it's not that I don't manage artists, but it is that I'm not taking on, any additional clients at this exact time, but that's always changing. And I'll tell you why that is. And the third thing I would like to discuss in this particular video is why, in particular, taking on multiple clients is a difficult thing to do and be successful at. So let's jump into it. All right, so what was number one? Number one was managing the company versus managing the artist. In my personal opinion, this is a more effective way to do it. This is a more effective way to handle the business itself. This is because I've stated in multiple videos that managing the artist, is a different relationship than being a part of the business or the company. A lot of times artists don't know how to handle their business, so they're asking you, the manager, to pretty much be the CEO of their company and manage how everything works. For me personally, I don't like the idea always of being able to be discontinued at any particular time. As a manager, you can be fired at any given moment. And artists, as you know, are very emotional creatures. They can just get upset with you and decide to let you go. I believe that when you have a stronger foundation in reference to you have other successful artists, things of that nature, having that type of agreement is a lot easier to deal with. Or if you just have this super crazy, amazing relationship where you know that you're always going to be good because you went through the fire together, and obviously that's ideal. But a lot of times when I work with artists these days, but a lot of times when I like to work with artists these days, I prefer to work with the business itself. I want to understand how money is coming in, how money is coming out. I'm normally playing multiple roles. I'm normally playing a business manager role as well as a manager role, and then also a road manager role at the same time. So I prefer to just partner with the business as a whole. So therefore, we're going to create a business that the artist, is signed to themselves in some type of way. I'm going to have some type of ownership stake in that particular business itself, or some type of contract with that business that I feel more protected in, and that I can have a complete understanding of how my revenue is going to be generated. So I have invested interest in the returns and different things of that nature, and we're going to build a functional business that works. I want from the top to bottom, holistically, I'd like to see the business function and start seeing ROI, which is a return on investment. I like to bet on money, not just fame. I like to make these types of decisions, but that's my approach. Everyone has a different approach to how they want to do it. Some people don't want to be involved in all those different facets. I typically jump in, get my hands dirty in all those different areas, and then bring people on to take on different roles as the project gets more complex. So managing the business versus managing the artist is probably the number one reason why I don't manage artists directly, because, for me, I think my skill sets are just a little bit more advanced for that particular, niche. However, there are a lot of people that focus on that niche and have become way more successful than me. Obviously, there's no, superstar artist that I can announce right now that I've broken and made millions of dollars off of, which means anyone watching this video that is a manager can take this game that I'm giving, which is universal, and potentially break and pop off before me, which brings me to my number two reason. Number two basically breaks down into why I'm not managing and taking on clients right now. And that's really because I recognize it takes a whole lot of work to break any one particular artist. As a manager, your career is very tied to the acts and decisions that an artist makes. So you could be progressing and moving very quickly, moving forward at an accelerated rate, which is something I've personally experienced. moving at a very accelerated rate, and then the artist decides that they want to make some changes, they want to slow things down, they want to stop, they want to do things differently, etc., which then has an impact on your career as a manager. I've also worked for a management company that had the same type of scenario where the artist was signed to a label, and the label's decision has have an impact on the artist and what's going forward and how things are going to move, and then you as the manager are a byproduct of those decisions that happen to the artist, and how are you going to navigate, keep the artist focused, etc. In short, the process of dealing with any one particular client is all inclusive. It takes a lot of time, a lot of dedication. There's some luck involved. You can do everything right and still fail as a manager because there's so much dependency on the decisions the artist makes. The artist can go to jail. The artist can get locked up. I mean, as of right now, I'm not sure when this video is going to drop, but just yesterday, 21 Savage just got deported. I'm familiar. I've met his manager, Key, multiple times. This completely throws a wrench in whatever plans that she had. No one expects their artist to get deported right after they drop one of the biggest albums that the biggest album they've ever dropped, with one of the biggest records they've ever done. Also, the record with J. Cole, A Lot, and also just dropping the video after an amazing Atlanta Super Bowl weekend. Then you get deported. These things happen that are out of a manager's control. There are so many factors that happen at the highest level that also happen at the lowest level that impact your ability to be successful, that, luck is somewhat required to be successful. There's too many moving parts involved with management, and this is one of the reasons why I don't take on multiple clients, because that's too much going on at one time when I need to be really focused on any one organization that I'm working with in order to create some type of success and leverage, any opportunity. So for me, myself, I'm not taking on a whole bunch of clients for that purpose. I need to create a stronger foundation so that I can bring on other agents to work underneath me and be able to take on multiple clients, which means I need to be able to pay all of those agents, etc., off the success of the first initial artist, just like Scooter Braun has done with his company and all these other management entities and imprints that exist in the music space today. That brings me to number 3. The intangibles, just in general, talking about the management process. I kind of already talked about it just now, but I really just want to highlight it again and say, listen, there are a lot of moving parts associated with being great. And I want you guys to know that if you're thinking about, managing an artist right now, you really have to commit to these themes, these ideas. You have to build your relationship. You have to create a bond. You have to spend some time. Like, important things to me are team building, moments. Let's go whitewater rafting. You know what I'm saying? I'm black. Some of my clients are black. A lot of black people don't swim. That's a scary thing. Let's do something scary. Let's jump out of a plane. Let's eat dinner. Let's do a road trip. Let's hang out. Let's spend some time with each other. Let's get to know each other. Let's play Taboo and see if you suck. Let's do things to build the relationship so that it's stronger than just a business concept, because that's what's required to be great in management. Management, at the end of the day, someone is trusting their life in your hands. And so if their life is in your hands, you have to be careful with how many lives you decide to take on. And I think I've drifted off the topics. I can't remember all the topics that I listed 1, 2, 3 at the beginning as I'm talking right now, but I wanted to address the point of why don't I manage artists, by saying I do, but I manage the brand, the company. If the artist doesn't have that, we're going to build that and manage that. And then 2, I don't take on a whole lot of clients because I want to make sure that the ones that I'm working with are getting the credit and things that they're needed, one of which is rather new. So there was a pocket in which I opened up and took on one more thing and then decided to close the doors right back again. And I only took on that one other thing because other things, slowed down or changed or, moved around differently. So as there's bandwidth, I make those decisions. And overall, if anyone's reaching out looking for management, this whole channel is designed for me to help you from afar. I'm trying to get you the information that you need to win. We're trying to add we're not trying. We're giving you the information that you need to win. We're providing services for you online. We're providing info packs for you to read. We're giving you the game. You just got to take it in and do what you do and navigate. We're giving it to you unfiltered, uncut, unbiased, being, uncritical or being critical of every side and giving you all options and angles that you can maneuver. At the end of the day, this is like a sports game. You know, some of the best coaches in the game weren't the best players, and some of the best players don't make the best coaches. At the end of the day, if I'm coaching you guys on this, it's my job to tell you the plays, how the basketball court moves, how to chest pass, how to dribble, what the basics are, how to get more advanced, how to run a play. That's a screen. You know, it's my job to tell you the landscape of the game, how to navigate it, how to move around it, and then you have to go out there and become the best player that you can be, and hopefully we'll see each other at the top. That's the vision right now for this platform. In reference to me helping you directly, I can also do different consulting things. You guys can reach out. We have the text thing open. We do Ask Sirr Loves. I can answer your questions if you reach out to me at any given time. It's harder to answer questions in the comment section because they pop up from all over the place. It's hard to monitor them, but you can use the text number, you can use the Twitter, you can use all these different things. You can become a member on the subscription form and get all sorts of information. We're making it available for you. And if you are a manager and you need help, then you can just reach out. You can regularly schedule appointments to have conversations. Until that gets too overwhelming, I'm making that available to you guys. If you're an artist and you need to know what to do as a manager, a lot of what I'm doing is telling the artist what to do. Yes, I'm going out there and doing a lot of things myself, but if I go and do everything that I'm supposed to do and the artist doesn't do what they're supposed to do, there's still a big L at the end of the table. It doesn't matter if you lose by 1 point or 100 points. A loss is a loss, right? So it doesn't matter how much effort I apply if the artist isn't applying their effort. So a lot of times you guys can still get a lot of exceptional help just by getting direction and understanding what to do. And that's what we're trying to do here. There's multiple ways for you guys to get help, and I'm trying to help as many of you all as possible for as long as possible. And when I get oversaturated, I'll probably bring other people around to help you as well. So yeah, I think that's a long enough Ask Sirr Love. I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot, and I'm trying to give you guys everything that I got right here on Phase 6 every single time. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day.